Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. Hope you're all having a magical day. Today we're going to continue on with our adventure in the Forgotten Realms spoilers, working our way through July 1st, looking at some of the best cards that I've seen spoiled so far, which is really cool. So buckle in, you guys. I hope you're excited. I know I am. Make sure to like the video to help support the channel. It helps more than I'll ever be able to convey, or even just speak clearly. Massive appreciation going out to all of you who supported the channel so far. And a quick reminder, all of our subscribers are going to be entered in to win a 500,000 gem giveaway that we've been doing, rolling out slowly. And we're also giving away a complete rare playset to the D&D expansion that we're looking at here today. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely do that. Share it out to your friends, because what a better way to start a little bit of arena playtime than with a complete set. That'll get you going for sure. So cheers. And none of this would be possible without the support, so definitely check out the link and support if you want to get in on our free tournaments and all this stuff as well. So without further ado, let's break down the spoilers from July 1st. Again, only looking at the cards that I think are relevant right now to kind of form opinions around. Ignoring a lot of the commons and uncommons, unless they really stood out to me, just because, typically a lot of them are not going to see play in standard. And of course, don't worry if you're a free-to-play individual. I'm going to take care of you guys as well with a ton of new competitive artisan-style decks. So, getting right into it, one of the best cards I've seen so far is the Guardian of Faith. This is a 3/2 with Flash and Vigilance for 3 mana. Whenever Guardian of Faith enters the battlefield, any number of other target creatures you control phase out. Right, I've got to take it slow just to be able to digest it. This is really good. So this is protection from field wipes. This is a way to protect all of your chump blockers and then immediately respond, right? Very good. We've seen Glorious Protector. We've seen Semester's End with similar functions. 4 mana, right? You have to be on the play, or else you're not avoiding many things, right? And even a Doomscar can hit you for 3 potentially. So the fact that this is 3 mana, I think is very good. Also, it's a knight. All right, I'll allow it, right? Very cool. This just screams Circle of Loyalty to me. That's another white enchantment for knights. And if, you can stack those knights, you've got those other white knights that, like the Worthy Knight, I believe, Acclaimed Contender. There is a lot of really tasty white knights. So, Boros Knights, I think, is going to be fire, and probably even Mardu Knights again. So, really excited to see some more new knight cards, and hopefully have them become competitive again, because they fell off for a bit. And Guardian of Faith just excites me, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but this is a good card, and it's not only going to be in a knight deck. This is going to be in other decks just because of the ability, right? It's so good. The fact that you can throw an Anthem effect on it and it's a 4/3 now is insane as well with Vigilance. But even without that knight reliance, still a good card, still going in my mono white deck, still going in everyone else's. It's just sad because there's so many good 3-drops in white right now, right? Skyclave, Spellbinder, now the Guardian, Redain, right? So, list goes on and on and on. I'm just gonna have a 3-drop tribal white deck. Talking about some of those uncommons that really stood out to me, Kalain, Reclusive Painter for 2 mana. And this is defining a free-to-play deck. A 1/2, whenever it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. That's like it only costs 1, right? Think of that value. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them for each mana from treasure spent to cast them. another additional little bit there, right? So I don't mind this. I think this is a good card. Shout out to Jeff D 2020. I like that's a cool way to sign their art. But you know, moving on here, the Demi Lich. Now this is pretty janky, but daddy likey. For 4 mana, 4/3, costing 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery you've cast this turn, right? So we want to be casting 1-drops. Opt, opt, opt all day long. And then we can just cast Demi Lich basically for free. Whenever it attacks, exile up to 1 other instant and or sorcery card from your graveyard, copy it. You may cast the copy. Keep in mind, you'll still have to pay for it. You may cast Demi Lich from your graveyard by exiling 4 instances and sorceries from your graveyard in addition to paying its other cost here for 4 mana, right? Of course, we can still reduce that cost if we're casting instances and sorceries. So we can have it in our grave. We can cast instances and sorceries, have those instances and sorceries now go to the grave as well as we've cast them, in addition to reducing the cost of the Demi Lich. So that's really where the secret sauce is here. And I like it. I don't mind it. It's something that, like, when's the last time that we've seen mono blue just be played, right? It's been a while, so, I like it. Moving on to the Wizard Spellbook. I like it, right? Man, this kid's articulate. For 7 mana and artifact, we can tap to exile an instant or sorcery card from our graveyard in a similar fashion to roll a dice at sorcery speed. 1 through 9, copy that card. You may cast the copy. Again, keep in mind, we'll have to pay for that card, but, double value out of your cards. That's not a bad thing. 10 to 19, copy that card, and you may cast the copy by paying 1 rather than its typical mana cost, which is really, really good. And for 20, copy each card exiled with the Wizard Spellbook, and you may cast any number of copies without paying their cost. Wowzers. So the thing that I'm thinking about here is the cards that you exile with the spellbook will stack up, right? It's gonna be 1 card, it's gonna be 2, it's gonna be 3, it's gonna be 4 that you're exiling with the spellbook. And I know it's, 1 in 20 chance, but if you hit that 20, that's like free parking. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, here's all my spells for free, baby. So that is, that's good. That is very powerful. But it's the lottery, right? Like, that's unlikely. The nice thing about that is the 10 to 19 effect is super good as well, right? That's definitely worth doing. The 1 to 9 is, not even bad value. The only thing is that it costs 7 to get in play, right? Are you going to be alive on 7 mana? Are you going to still be surviving at 7 mana? I don't know. Maybe as a control deck. Feeling like a pipe dream to me. But it's a cool card, very powerful, a little bit expensive, but we'll see. Maybe we can get it out for cheaper later. Who knows? Moving on down the list here, we have Delena, a Wild Mage for 4, a 3/2, and whenever it attacks, choose target creature you control, and then roll a dice. 1 through 14, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of target creature, except it's not a legendary, and it has exile this creature at the end of combat, which is decent, right? That's pretty good. Or 15 to 20, create one of those tokens and roll again. Whew. Wow. So we actually see the ability to do multiple rolls in succession based on your previous roll, which is really good. And, not to spoil the beans here, but we have other cards that will, whenever you roll again and keep the highest card or the highest roll, which is pretty cool. So that would allow us to, increase our chances of always rolling above 15, right? To re-roll again. And then we have other cards that will get triggered based on how many rolls we do, right? It's like every time you roll a dice this turn, deal 1 damage to any target, for example, right? So we have stuff like that as well, which is exciting. So there could potentially be a dice combo deck here that I'm looking forward to. Just the fact that you can copy your creatures is, really, really good as well. So I like to see it. Moving on, we have the Deck of Many Things. Now, this is the most jank card that we've seen other than the Spellbook, and I love it, right? Let's get into it. This is a 5 mana value legendary artifact. For 2, we can tap it to roll a 20-sided die, of course, subtracting the number of cards in our hand. If the end result is 0 or less, we have to discard our hand. So chances are slim, but it could happen. But potentially, you want to discard your hand. You never know, right? With your potential deck build. So that's interesting. We could, basically take that negative and turn it into a positive, which is something that, is good to do. 1 to 9, return a card at random from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty decent. 10 to 19, draw 2 cards. Even better, honestly. And then 20, put a creature card from any graveyard into the battlefield under your control. When that creature dies, its owner loses the game. So we want to be taking a creature from our opponent's graveyard. They're the owner. It comes into the field under our control. We can Woe Strider it. We can Chump Block with it. We can Village Rites it. The list goes on and on and on. Emberstorm's Predator. Any sacrifice effect. Plum the Forbidden, you know what I mean. Anything will get it. And then we're just going to win the game. So that's actually not that bad. Keep in mind, it's the lottery. You're going to have to roll that 20. But we see the dice effects that I previously mentioned about taking the highest roll, rolling multiple dice. So that's cool to see, and I'm excited. Volo, Guide to Monsters for 4 mana, 3/2, and whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control or a creature in your graveyard, copy that spell. I don't know, man. That seems a little bit crazy. I don't know if there are 30 different creature types within Simic colors that I can put in my deck, right? We've got snakes, we've got serpents, we've got beasts, hydras, right? Potentially it could work. I don't have a ton of faith in it, though. I think this is probably a great commander card, but maybe some standard jank, but I'm gonna have to wait and see. Like, that's nothing I'm gonna dig into right away. And unfortunately, that was our last card. No. So what was your favorite card that we talked about today? Contact Other Plane. This is one of the uncommons that I wanted to talk about. Instant speed for 4. Roll a dice. 1 to 9, draw 2 cards. All right. 10 to 19, scry 2, then draw 2. All right. And then 20, scry 3, and draw 3 for 4 mana at instant speed. I don't mind it. I honestly don't mind it. I think that's a really good card for an uncommon. But yeah, let me know what. And then the Twitch Willow as well. 0/4 for 2. We can pay 4 to draw a card and then put a land card from our hand into the battlefield. I thought that was really, really interesting as well. And it's a halfling druid, which is nice. I mistook this as an elf earlier, but it's a druid. But still good. It's still good, right? So those are, all of the cards that kind of stood out to me. The Hired Hexblade was interesting as well. A 2/2, and when it enters the battlefield, if a mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card and lose 1 life. As far as an uncommon and common goes, I think that was really good value. But yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on for today. Guardian of the Faith, I think, is like ultra good. And then we also talked about, no, that was in our last video, the Frog Hemoth. I really like the Frog Hemoth. I'm still thinking about it. But yeah, the Guardian of Faith is a great card. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did I miss anything? It is what it is. I hope you enjoyed. This was July 1st. Spoilers from Adventure in the Forgotten Realms. Of course, subscribe if you haven't to get in on the giveaway, right? Because I'm going to be buying someone a complete rare playset to this expansion, which is pretty cool. So maybe it could be you. Subscribe to the channel, share to your friends, and we'll see you soon in the next.